he was my best friend. Not just our marriage, but before.
Yeah.
So it's tough. None of the emotions that went through my brain could have prepared me for what I was getting ready to be told. He took me up on top of Buffalo Mountain on the fire tower. We went there a lot, and the kids loved to go there. So he took me out to eat at Cheddar's. We had our first date there, and he proposed to me up there. And we got married July 31st. And then, people dream of having a marriage like we had. It's just not something that you don't expect it, and it was definitely God, because we never fought. If we had a disagreement, we talked about it. And I know people say that every day, but we lived it, and it was just, for me, coming out of the marriage that I was in before, it was just, I told him every day, I was like, I wouldn't be able to appreciate you the way that I do if I hadn't went through what I went through. And we brought our baby girl into the world, and he adored her. He just sit and stare in her eyes. And we never would have dreamed. We joked around. We'll finally get to go on a date, just the two of us, when she's 13, maybe, because we weren't going to leave her anywhere. He was dad of all dads. A mom can only hope that their kids would have a dad like he was. He was involved in a motorcycle accident. He was actually on his way to my parents' house. I had just talked to him on the phone for 5 minutes. I'll never forget that conversation, but I said, well, it's raining in Blountville. You want me to come pick you up? I can come pick you up from work. He said, no, it's not raining down here. I was like, are you sure? Yeah, if I leave my bike here, they might tow it off or something. And at first I kind of beat myself up for not actually going and picking him up. But then, I realized we could have been with him. It could have been everybody, and that's just not what God had intended. I just started pacing around the house and pacing around the driveway, waiting to hear his motorcycle. And I never did, and I was like, I can't do this. So I left the kids at my mom's with my grandmother, and my mom and me and my sister went down the interstate. And I was looking on both sides. I was looking at all the exits. I was like, I'm not seeing anything. Are you seeing anything? Surely we would have passed him by now. And I was like, well, I have to stop and get gas, or I'm going to get stuck on the side of the road. So when we got off that exit, I called the fire department that he was a part of, and I was like, if y'all heard of an accident or anything that maybe Christopher was involved in, is there an accident anywhere on the interstate, would you all know? They said, I'm going to have to be honest with you. He has been involved in an accident. Everything was rushing through my mind. I was like, where is he at? I don't want to get to him. I want to make sure he's okay. Is he conscious? Is he unconscious? What's going on? They wouldn't tell me anything. They wouldn't tell me. It took him a few minutes to even tell me what hospital he was at. I knew something was wrong. And when we got there, and I took off into the hospital, and they wouldn't tell me where he was at. They were like, we're just going to put you in this family room. I was like, I know what that family room means. He was coming around a curve. All I know is he slammed on a brake that not any typical motorcycle person or rider or whatever would use unless they were startled. And then it sent him off the road. And killed him instantly. One thing that I say that I want people to remember is don't let your loved one go to sleep without telling them you love them and you appreciate anything. Just don't let them go to work. Don't let them leave without hugging them and telling them you love them. I can't imagine what it would feel like to not know where my husband was going to be. I can't imagine. Because when I went, I knew that's where he went, and I was terrified. For the viewing, I was terrified. But when I walked into that room, there was just such a peace over my heart because he wasn't there, and I knew where he was at. That was his body, but he wasn't there. He loved the song Chain Breaker by Zach Williams and the Different by Micah Tyler. And those two songs, he said, I want to be different. I want to live that song. I love it. And he was saying, you know, they're having a concert here. They're going to be doing a concert. We should go to it. Like, tickets are just however much they were. And I was like, well, think about it. Where's it going to be, you know? We'll see if we can't do that. And then when he passed, I wasn't thinking about it at all. And then it popped up on my Facebook. And my mother-in-law was like, hey, you know, they're having this concert. That's the guy who sang that song at Christopher's funeral. I was like, you know what? He really wanted to go to that. He wanted to go to that concert. We should go just for him. Go in his honor. I went and I expected that song to be the most emotional song I heard. And then I heard his song last. And that broke me down. Because you never know when it's going to be your last day. He didn't know. We had plans the next day. We had plans that night. What we were going to do for dinner. What we were going to do for our anniversary the next month. She laughed for him and smiled. And she's a mommy's girl. She doesn't like anybody to hold her. She's very picky about who she lets hold her, and just the fact that he held her and she was smiling and laughing at him was great. She had never laughed out loud before, and she was just awing at him, and I said, Christopher's living through that baby girl right there. You're more prone, if you don't have it, you're more prone to listening to things that are gonna make it seem cool to do things that are not cool for you to do. And it's when you're not at church, you're in your car worshiping, because you're worshiping through music. And that's one of my favorite ways. I mean, sharing my story and worshiping through music is like my favorite ways of sharing. My song can do so much more. For some reason I just feel like it's God speaking through other people. That's like that day I messaged you all and told you about the Amazing Grace coming on. That's a song that he sang to the girls every night before bed. And when they were upset and Kaylee was laying there crying, and I just turned on the radio and a song had just went off and you all just got finished talking and Amazing Grace came on. And I was like, he's using it to sing her. So not only is it for worshiping God, but it's those comforting moments when you need it the most. I'll tell a little story. I'll, share a little thing that we've went through, but in the end, it's just me trying to glorify God and share His love, that no matter what you're going through, that's my whole, I'm going through a crazy tragedy that not many people have to deal with, but I want to use it to glorify God, because that's what I'm here for. I get asked that every day, like, how do you have so much faith? How do you? And it's because He's got me through a lot. I've been through a lot in my life, and I just put my faith in God, and He's never let me down. So why give up on Him? We've had a lot of support from our community and our family and our newly founded family at the Fire Hall. Everybody's just been great support and helping us out any way they can. Prayers. That's another thing about the radio station. What's better than worshiping God, no matter how you're doing it? If you're worshiping God through music, then, what's better than that?